So joining us now is Jason Marczak from Atlantic Council's Adrian Arsht Latin America Center. And Jason, it's great to have you on the show. And that's really where I want to start with you. Can we actually call this a regime change?
Morgan, great to be on the show. This is not a regime change. This is taking out Maduro and putting in Delcy Rodriguez, who was Maduro's vice president. So the regime remains intact. You just have a different leader of the regime. What's different is you now have a leader of the regime that the Trump administration thinks that it can work with. It thinks that Delcy Rodriguez, who has a history working with the Venezuelan economy, the Venezuelan oil industry, she's seen as much more of a technocrat. So she's seen as somebody that the administration thinks that it can work with, and that can actually help to achieve some of the U.S. goals on the economy, oil sector, and other areas.
Okay. If you're trying to revitalize the Venezuelan economy and you're trying to use American capitalism by way of American companies investing to do it, what is going to be necessary from a governance standpoint, a stability standpoint, a regime standpoint to actually see those inflows happen?
Well, Morgan, that's the million-dollar question, right? And I think that the president's talked about those inflows coming into Venezuela, but you need respect for the rule of law. You need respect of contracts. You need respect of foreign investment. You need to resolve the international arbitration cases that are still underway. On the oil sector specifically, you would need a new hydrocarbons framework, because right now investing in Venezuela means you have to be a minority stakeholder to the state oil company, to PDVSA. So there's a whole range of things that happen economically, but then also politically, right? You look at the risk versus reward quotient, and the risk is still very high, right? This is a unstable government, because right now there's a internal fractioning, and Delcy Rodriguez is trying to hold power among the different elements of Chavismo. This is not a monolithic regime. And so eventually, yes, you do need free and fair elections so that you actually have a government in that you know is supported by the people that will give long-term assurances to that investment.
We talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it again. And it's the fact that when you look at what this has done with migration, with how bad the Venezuelan economy has done, I mean, this is the world's worst displacement crisis in modern times, or at least arguably rivals that of what we've seen in Syria, for example. So what are the ripple effects, both economically, but also from a humanitarian standpoint, and also perhaps just from like a security and alliance standpoint to the rest of Latin America? Certainly a lot of focus on Cuba, but Mexico, Colombia, Brazil, we could go down the list.
Yeah, and Morgan, you talk about the economy, 500% inflation in Venezuela, 90% of the people live below the poverty line. We've crunched some numbers here at the Atlantic Council. It would take until the 2070s for Venezuela to make up economically for the failed policies continuing this trajectory of Chavismo. Wow. What are the implications across the region? I mean, there was great euphoria across the region for the U.S. action, especially among countries that have received the population in countries like Colombia that's received so many Venezuelans and other countries. Largely, the regional countries did not resist the U.S. action. There was only, of the 5 countries that put up a statement condemning the U.S. action, only 3 of those 5 countries will have the president at the end of this year. But there is a ripple. Right, you see the president using the success. This was a wildly successful operation on Saturday morning to continue to threaten the Colombian president. That relationship has really cratered over the course of the last year because of the actions of the Colombian side and how that's seen in the United States. Mexico, look, Mexico is a very strong U.S. partner. We have the USMCA review this year. We're hosting the World Cup with Mexico, and the Mexicans have done a phenomenal job of cooperating with the U.S. on security measures that have been asked to move forward from the president.